In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how our thoughts shape our feelings, which then shapes how we act. If you guys find value in this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share it with a friend. A lot of times we fall into this pattern of inconsistencies in our life. When something good happens, we're happy. Then something bad happens, then we're sad. Again, coming off the last video where I spoke about our emotions and allowing that to dictate how we live our lives, it's going to be a roller coaster. It's going to be ups and downs. The same thing applies with our faith, right? If we constantly focus on the actions, the things that we do, then we're going to keep falling short, and it's repent, sin, repent, sin, repent, sin, right? So how do you ultimately fix that? How do you live a life that's more of a straight line instead of going up and down? And it's something that I go back and forth on because I deal with, one, I don't want to be a pushover, right? I feel like in certain situations, I feel like I have to act a certain way or react a certain way. But again, it's that up and down roller coaster of a ride where in order to live more of a straight line of a life, you can't allow all these external factors and external things to shape the things that you do, right? And so in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23, it says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And in Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3, it supports this by saying, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. So what it's saying here is that peace comes from where your mind is focused and not from the circumstances that you're in. The next thing that I'll point to is that in James chapter 1, verses 14 through 15, it says, but each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. Then after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. Again, talking about the things that we think about, the way that we feel, and then going and acting on those feelings, right? Nobody ever just wakes up and just does, right? We first think about what we're going to do, then we feel a certain way, and then we go and act based on how we feel. And that's what it's saying here, right? Our desires and feelings are conceived in the mind first, and then they produce sinful or godly action depending on the source. The next thing that I'll talk about is the power of renewing your mind. In Romans chapter 12, verse 2, it says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing in your mind. So transformation comes when you're intentional, when you choose to think what you think about, right? You see a pretty girl walking down the street and you may glance once, right? But it's that second glance. And this is how we fall into lust, right? You see a picture online or you go on a certain website and it's that first look, right? And then you take a second look, or then you click on the page, or then you click on that link and it then takes you to a website, and then you just fall down the pattern of sin. That's exactly what it's saying here, right? You need to be intentional about the things that you think about. And as a result of that, it's fixing the root of the problem. In Philippians chapter 4, verses 8 through 9, it says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things, and the God of peace will be with you. Again, the point of this video is to focus on the things that you think about. Be intentional about your thoughts. Don't even allow any space for any negativity to flow into your life, right? Because you may have a negative thought, right? And that thought leads to one thing, which leads to the next, which leads to an action, which leads to that inconsistent life that we're all used to living. It's that circle or pattern that we're all familiar with. But when you focus on God, like it says in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. When you're feeling a certain way, just look up to God and meditate on his verses about his peace and his provision. Again, it's something that I need to fix in my life and something that I'm constantly working on, but a message that I wanted to share with you guys because I know it's a pattern that we're all familiar with. The happy, sad, the ups and downs, the sin, repent. How do you fix that? And what the Bible tells us is that it starts with our mind. Hope you guys found value in the video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share it with a friend.